Hi, Yan and Gal here. Welcome to the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. And today we have a special guest with us, Yarden. Together we will discuss her relocation journey as she followed her partner, how it impacted her career, and which opportunities it opened up for her. But first, let us introduce you to our guest.
Yarden is a spirited and adventurous Israeli woman currently living in San Jose, Costa Rica. She made the bold decision to leave behind her thriving career in Israel to follow her husband. As fate would have it, Yarden found a new opportunity as an environmental attaché at the Israeli embassy in Costa Rica, allowing her to combine her passion for the environment with her professional skills. This position is getting her a step closer to becoming an environmental diplomat.
When she's not advocating for sustainable practices or representing your own country in Costa Rica, you can find Yarden practicing yoga, exploring the local wildlife, or spending quality time with her twin boys. Yarden's willingness to embrace change and take risks has led her on an exciting journey filled with new experiences and personal growth. Plus, she's our amazing cousin and we love her deeply. So, we're really excited to have her with us.
So we invite you to grab your coffee and notebook and give a big loving welcome to Yarden. Hi Yarden, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's such a pleasure having you.
It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
It's our deepest honor. We're really excited about this episode today. As we said before in our opening, you're our cousin and we haven't seen you for so long. So it's really, really exciting. And we're going to dig right into our first question, which is, can you tell us a little bit about your personal experience with moving abroad and what inspired you to make this decision?
It's a very good question and kind of hard one. So I don't know, anything inspired me to move. We are working with a 5 years plan. Me and my husband are fantasizing on what we want to do, where we want to be, where we're going to take our lives. And for the next 5 years, not tomorrow, not next year, the next 5 years. So we started saying, we want to move abroad somewhere with, we didn't know anything. And then COVID came. And my husband was a tour guide, and in the COVID, there was no tourists. So we had to do a reevaluation and reassess our lives. And we said, this might be an opportunity. So the opportunity came, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Israel recruited a new personnel, and he made it in, which was incredible. And a year later, here we are in Costa Rica.
That's so crazy because it's a big move moving from Israel to Costa Rica. It's not like the same situation. But I love the fact that you said that it's something you started talking about years before, and it was in your 5 years plan, and the opportunity came and you seized the opportunity.
So I don't believe in opportunity to just come. I think the opportunities manifest. When you have a clear vision of what you want to do, and it doesn't have to be Costa Rica or Panama or United States, but this is the essence of what I want for my life, for my family. I want to move abroad. I want to have this strong feeling of family. Like actually I talked to you about that moving abroad is very strong with the family sense. What we are experiencing now, because we don't have a lot of friends. And so we kind of tasted the essence of what we want to do, and then the opportunity opened the gates. I'm glad that Amir is smart enough and well established enough in order to be accepted to this course, and I'm not sure I would. And we are here, and I also when we learned that we're gonna move here, to Costa Rica, I really defined what I want to do. Also, not in an everyday life, and not I want to work for this company or for that company, but defined the essence of what I want to do. And I said, oh, don't worry, it will take time, but it will happen. And actually, yesterday, it did.
Wow. So
Wow. So you need to tell us what happened yesterday.
Everything I fantasized with the essence of it, not the details, we made it happen a year into the move.
That's really amazing. And I love that you mentioned that opportunities don't just come to you, you manifest to it or you work towards it, you invite it into your life, you make it happen. You just and I love that you mentioned the essence of the thing. It's not about I want to work in Costa Rica as and this and that. It's more about, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's about how I want to feel in this new opportunity that I created, what I want to be, who I want to be. It's those things. And then the things that happen around it just, come to this essence that you created for yourself.
Yeah, you have more opportunities when you do that. Because if I said I want to work for this company, let's say I want to work for the UN, I only look for a job in the UN. But if I say I want to do substantial environmental work, I want to work part time, I want to dedicate at least an hour a day for sports, and I want, the qualities of stuff. I can work in so many companies, in so many situations, and it's been very rewarding, not without the hardship. Of course, we will talk about that too, but it's very rewarding.
That's amazing. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your career because you had an amazing career before you moved to Costa Rica. And you mentioned that you had this dream of moving abroad and you probably didn't think about, ooh, what am I going to do with my career when I'll move? Because it wasn't time to think about it. But when time came and you moved to Costa Rica, you had to give up the hard work that you did in order to get to this position. And we know how hard you worked in order to get to this point in your life. So tell us a little bit about those fears of leaving this great position that you had and maybe the doubts that came with it.
So it's not just leaving the position that I really loved, and I did work hard in order to get it. And I felt really influenced, that I'm doing good in my position. And this is something that I seek in my life, that I give my time in order to do something important. And this is very, very big part of my life. And I love it. And I don't want to give it up. Also, it's very comfortable. I made a position that it's very comfortable for me. So I know the position. I'm a good employee. Everybody knows me. And I'm in a situation that I don't need to, like, I work very hard, but I don't need to invest a lot of time and effort in order to prove to other people that I'm good, which is incredible. And I did work hard in order to get to that situation. And now I'm moving for a clean slate. I don't speak Spanish. I have to learn Spanish, the biggest fear ever. And and I have to reinvent myself. I have a clean slate. I have to create the first impression from the beginning, to prove myself to people that I don't know, that are probably part of the diplomatic community. So highly educated, very evolved people, mostly very nice also. And it's a very big challenge. That was my biggest fear, so Spanish and reinventing myself was my two biggest fears. I knew that the kids will be okay. It will take time, but they will be okay. I also trust that their personalities to be open to creating new friends and inviting them. I knew it will take time, that I will have to bear with anger that comes with the frustration, the first 6 months. We can talk about that too, as a mother of kids that are doing relocation. And I knew that my role is to diffuse this anger in the house. So I said to myself, I declared that I'm going to have 6 months that I'm not going to think of any kind of employment for me. I had 6 months that I had to do yoga, sports, learn Spanish, and diffuse the anger in the house.
That's amazing, to take upon yourself this role of, first, let's see that everybody's settled and taking care of yourself at the same time, because you can diffuse the anger of others if you're so frustrated and feeling like crap all the time. This is why you use yoga and sports and learning Spanish. That is really important, because we see so many women that are, taking the same role. I need to figure out how everybody is settled down, my partner, my kids, everyone will be settled down, and then I'll take care of myself, my job, my things. But it actually, you need to take care of yourself the minute you get this relocation, because it is so hard.
You need to take care of yourself, and you need to set a time frame. A time frame, the definition of a time frame was very important, because I said every time I got stressed that what's going on with me, I said, it's only been a month. I still have 5 months to go. And the definition of these 6 months being that what I need to do in these 6 months is to learn Spanish, do sports and yoga. That was the most important part of me being able to support the house. And the house is okay. The house is okay. Not saying perfect, never perfect. And then it kind of let me relax into the situation, not feel angry with myself that I'm still not putting money, earning money, or developing myself, because I have 6 months. That's okay.
I think you touched on a very important point here, and that's what we see so many women talking about it. It's like, I need to find a job even before I move. Like I'm leaving my career behind. I need to make sure that I have a good job, something important. And if they don't find it quickly, and it put an extra pressure on themselves, and it's so many other things going on, and then what happens usually is that they don't have this time frame. So they're like, okay, it was too hard. I'm not gonna look for it right now because I haven't found it, and now I need, my kids are angry and my partner is a mess and I don't speak the language and I don't need this. And then they don't have a time frame. So they find themselves 2-3 years later being like, but what about me? What have I done since I moved abroad? And that's where a lot of frustration comes in. So I think what you gave as a tip, and I'm going to go later about more tips maybe, but for our listeners, is it's okay to tell yourself, I'm taking time off to focus on myself and make sure the house is in a good shape, and give it a time frame so that you don't put extra pressure on yourself during this time, and then you'll figure it out. Then you'll do whatever it takes to find your next career step, but don't necessarily do it straight away when everything else is requiring so much of your attention.
Yes, the key factor here is the fantasy. Because when I lived in Israel, I knew Israel. I traveled, I visited all sorts of other places. I've been 6 months in the United States, but I couldn't imagine Costa Rica. I couldn't imagine my life in Costa Rica. So I read it online, and I read what are the seasons and what is the temperature, and there's nothing to do in San Jose. I read that online, but I did not know where I'll live, and like which apartment I would live in, and how would I feel in that apartment, and will the gym be close or not? Can I walk in my neighborhood? Can I bike? I like to bike in the neighborhood. Can I do that? Is it accessible? Can I cross the road? Can my kids cross the road? All sorts of these questions. I had no idea. I also did not know that I don't know them, because I had this fantasy of Costa Rica and my life here, and it was a very good fantasy. It made me move, but it's not related to reality. So I knew that my fantasy is giving me the energy and the willingness to work hard in order to move, and I knew I need to get it to set it free and be liberated from my fantasy, because all I will experience is the gap between fantasy and reality. So I also took this time in order to establish a new fantasy, to make what the fantasy I can build, fantasy in what I want to do in my life, not on dragons and unicorns, and so I needed to build it with reality here. After getting to know the neighborhood, the city, a little bit of the people, and it made my fantasy a lot more realistic and based on true story, like we like to say, and it's incredible. And we moved to a different apartment, and we saw it was good apartment, but it made us annoyed. We couldn't leave the house. We couldn't leave the house outside, and it put a tiny bit amount of frustration. So we moved. After 6 months, we moved apartment. Actually, we made a party, and then 3 weeks later, we moved. We knew that we're gonna put the mezuzah and unpack the last box, and then we're gonna find the proper house. So we did. We unpacked the last box. We did a party, and we found this incredible house that we live in now, and we are so happy with this move. We needed to invest a little bit more money in the move and the stress of moving, and it was worth every tiny bit of effort. So we are settled. We have place for the cat, for my furniture that I make.
I love that you mentioned all of this because there's a lot of fears and things that are concerned before a move. And as you said, like there are things that we don't even know that we need to think about when we start thinking about a relocation. And there are the normal things that are coming to our head. And we always say like there is this like the clash when reality meets like our imagination. It's usually not the same thing. Like it's usually not happening the same way. And it's up to us to decide like what do we do with it? Because okay, it's reality is not exactly what we imagined, but then as you said, I love it. You created a new imagination, something that you can enjoy and see yourself in it and really build something out of it, and it takes time.
It takes time, and it will be modified.
Like everything in life.
Like everything in life. I want to ask you because you mentioned it quickly earlier, some of the challenges that you face. You touched upon a couple of them, maybe related to your career or the fact that you moved with your twin boys. What are the main challenges that you think you faced?
So quite a few, of course. One direction of challenges will be technical. Getting internet in, find a house, getting internet into the house, opening a bank account, buying car. I did not have any furniture. I needed to buy furniture because I had no beds and dining table, etc. And it was a hard work. It was a lot of work and a lot of money. Built up a lot of frustration with time. And to open, let's say give an example. To open a bank account, I couldn't do it in English. No, no way. so it has to do with a lot of help being received from other people from the embassy and my husband, and it was a lot of frustration for me that I cannot open a bank account. What? Are you kidding me? I cannot open a bank account. I cannot call the internet company and and set the time, the correct time, because I don't speak Spanish and they don't speak English. And it was a pile. It was piles of frustration. Still is piles of frustration. But now I can buy cucumbers in the market, and I understand the amount, like how much I need to pay, and to create a very tiny small talks, and that's after a year. So it's it's a lot.
Yeah, that's, it's those tiny daily things, those small things that you used to do without any problem, Opening a bank account in Israel, it's not that difficult. I'm sure you've done it more than once in your life. Calling the internet company saying, hey, I need a new cable here. You come at 2 p.m., I'm here. And that's totally fine. It's so simple. And then you arrive to a new place and it's like, oh my God, why can't I do it? What's so complicated about it?
Even if you know the language, habits of the companies are different. I'm used to, the company say I'll be Wednesday between 8 and 11, and usually they come somewhere between 8 and 11, más o menos. But it wasn't like that here, and I'm sure in other countries it's also varied. So everything to do with the everyday life, what supermarket to buy, what kind of food I like, very simple everyday things, uh, caused a lot of frustration for me and for the kids as well, because they didn't have the cheese they liked, they didn't have the specific toothpaste that they like. So I needed to go through like three kinds of toothpaste, until I found the one I like. It's been everybody has his own toothpaste.
That's so true, but that's those small, tiny things that can make you sometimes make you feel so lost with yourself. Like, oh my God, why is finding toothpaste so hard? Why is finding a normal cucumber in the supermarket is so hard? Like it used to be, the basic.
Yeah, there are no normal cucumbers in the supermarkets. Cucumbers is only one place.
I know. It's like in France as well. It's like there are no normal cucumbers. What's up with that?
Yeah, no, I don't understand.
Every country with their own craziness, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So this was like one set of challenges, and the other set of challenges was the frustration we get socially. In the school, my kids had friends. Once upon a time, they had friends. They would enter the house, leave the bag, and go out to meet their friends. They're 10, so they had the freedom to go out alone to meet their friends. We lived in a place that allowed it, and now it's not like that. They didn't have friends in the beginning, and they cannot leave the house without us. So it was a very big frustration. The language, they couldn't play in the kids in recess because the playing was English and Spanish, and they never played in English and Spanish before, and that they had to learn how to play. They had to learn how to learn in English as well, but that was less important than to learn how to play in English, and it took a while. Took a while. I'm glad to say that they are okay with the English now. They go to English speaking school, so it's okay now. But it took a year. It took a year, and also myself socially. I had my friends, and it takes a while to do friends when you are not going to school, and also very good way to to make friends is when you pick up your kids at kindergarten. But I also don't have kids in kindergarten anymore, and they come back alone. So I never meet the parents, and so it's a very big challenge to meet people that you like, then you connect, and you can have friends. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot. One other family, if you have one other family that you can call them friends, you're set. Just no need more.
Yeah, I love that you say that because I think a lot of our listeners can relate to that. Many women all over the world are struggling with finding their social life after relocation, whether it's because they don't have the interaction between other with other people the way they used to. And as adults, it's not something that is very common to make new friends. Like we're not used to do this as adults. And even as kids, like it's hard at some point, of course, if you don't know the language and all that. But it's something we need to. We say it a lot on our podcast. It's about being patient and understanding that those things take time.
Also, there is no Tinder for families.
There is
There
all
is.
kind of things, but we'll send them to you. It's not Tinder like Tinder,
It's
but
not Tinder, but there
there
is
are
Bumble
some.
Friends. You can do like a couple. Depend. I don't know if it works in Costa Rica, but
I don't know. I haven't heard about it, but
I want to take you a little bit back to your career and the challenges around this, as you mentioned before. And you talked about creating opportunities for yourself and manifesting your new reality. And I wanted to ask you, how did you do it with your career?
so I set a lot of clarity. In Israel, I told myself I'm too overwhelmed in order to think about it. So I said, I defined it to myself. I'm going to start think about it when I leave because I needed to invest everything that I have in order to close up the projects that I'm leaving behind. And it was a lot of important, it was very important for me. So I invested everything, hours, and all my intention in closing the projects that I leave behind. And I said, okay, I'm gonna have my 6 months. I'm gonna invest my time during that period. So a lot of clarity upon myself and upon the like the close circle that people that support me, mainly my husband. So and my sister. And so this clarity allowed me to work through reality and know that I have the time. I have the time, I have the time frame to do so, and that will be okay. So we moved here. We had a month before school starts, and I said to myself, also, this is not the time. This is kids' time, and this is the time. This is the time to travel and to enjoy Costa Rica. I had a mission that the kids start school, that they know Costa Rica. They feel like they know Costa Rica. They're not first day here. They know it. So we traveled a lot. We had like 3 or 4 big trips during that month for like 4 days trips. So we've been to nature is we walked at the beach, we walked at the mountain, we've been to like 3 kinds of jungles, and it was incredible. And we started first day that we know Costa Rica. And then I had the time to fantasize. Time to fantasize is very important because you need to fantasize when you're not stressed. And so I had that. I made the situation that I'm not stressed. I knew I have 5 more months. I knew I have my sport, I have my yoga, and I have my Spanish. This was the anchors of the day. So I felt like I did something. When the kids showed up again after school, I felt like I did something, but I still had a lot of airy time in order to fantasize and to create and to do all sorts of things that I wanted. I started doing all sorts of arts again, which is incredible. And then with this time, I asked myself, what qualities, what qualities I want. So I defined, I want a place that I will feel comfortable with my level of Spanish, that, and also that I don't have to speak English all day, you know, which is very important for me because I don't want to be so stressed all the time because of the language barrier. And it is a barrier, even though that I'm kind of comfortable in English, but Spanish is definitely a barrier. So I wanted to find a place that I'll feel comfortable with that. Also, I want to do environmental work. It's the only subject that I'm willing to do, and but I'm willing to do all sorts of projects within that field. So I was open, but it had to be environmental work. My profession is environmental policy. So I would love to do my profession, but I'm okay with other things as well. And I said to myself, oh, I want part time because I still want to do all this traveling around, doing my sports, and feeling good because this is opportunity I will never gain back. I don't want to. I work in Israel like 1.5 positions, which is very custom to Israel, and it's a nightmare. But kind of Israelis like it, and I did not want that. So I defined part time, and so these are the qualities that I said to myself are important for me, are important for my life. And then I started fantasizing where do I think I could accomplish that? And I realized that basically in the embassy I could, because they speak in English, they speak in Hebrew because it's the Israeli embassy, but there was no position doing environmental work. I said, okay, dear Foreign Affairs, if you want me, you have to open a position for environmental job. And I told them that. I told that to my husband. I told that to all sorts of people that I know in the foreign affair, and waited. I put the seed and waited. Everybody said, "What are you talking about? There is no position of environmental job in the embassy. No way." I said, "Okay, no way. I'm not there. That is okay." And I still have good few months ahead. And but I said, okay, but I am interested in the environmental situation of Costa Rica. So I went to conventions with my husband. As the wife of, I had my free time, a lot of free time. That was okay. And one thing led to another, and meeting. Meeting one mayor here. I offered my help with forming a plan that I needed to do. I did it voluntarily. And few days later, the vice president calls me and asked for a meeting. Called the embassy and asked for a meeting with me, the wife of which is volunteering with a different company, a different local municipalities. And then we used it in order to say the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that there is a need. So it took 4 months, only 4 months, then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs agreed to hire me as an environmental attaché, as a representative. It's under the Division of Economics Affairs, and I do environmental work.
That's wow.
That's amazing. That's just like,
You say it took 4 months, but that's really, really fast for those kind of things.
It's unbelievable fast because shifting things in government is
Years.
also in private companies, definitely big companies, it's hard, but small companies are more flexible. So um, it was incredible. The other thing that I said to myself that I want to be involved in forming, there is a, a treaty being formed now by about marine plastic, about pollution of marine plastic, and that was my one of my passions, the previous position I took. And I said, okay, I will help you. To the person that replaced me, I helped her a lot. I did a lot of Zooms with her, and I put out a lot of hours and effort in order to help her take all my projects. So the people in the office thought that I need to be in that. in that treaty, and with a lot of giving. So I gave a lot of my time, freely, advice, a lot of giving, and I got that and the same energy back. So people worked hard out of the box in order to hire me. So this is the first time the Environmental Protection Office in Israel pays the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for a part-time position for me to be involved with this forming of the plastic treaty, which I'm so happy about. I got the final okay yesterday, and yes, I'm very happy. So I'm doing exactly what I wanted. I'm working in in a place that me speaking English is okay, Hebrew also okay. I'm keeping my old contacts. I'm not disappearing from the map, which is very important. I have something to show when I'll go back to Israel in a few years. They'll ask me what you did in Costa Rica. I said, I'm going to have an I can show something, which is very important in continuing a career. It's not just it's not just hard to start; it's also hard to continue it when you do these big changes, and it's exactly what I want to do.
I think, first of all, this is so inspiring, for all our listeners, to us as well. We're personally happy for you, but this is so, so inspiring. You are so focused on what you wanted and created the position you wanted. It was important to you, things that matter to you. And I love that you mentioned at the beginning that you can't fantasize when you're stressed. So you created a stress free environment, time for yourself in order to create the life you want and the position that you really want. And this is really, really inspiring. And for all of you listening right now, I really hope you're taking notes and getting inspired by what
Yeah.
Yarden did in just a year abroad. That's, a short time frame to do all of this.
Yeah, and I want to add to this the fact that we hear so many women saying like, "Yeah, but no one will hire me. I don't have the profile for this. There's no opportunities in this in my field. There's like I'm an American in a Spanish speaking country. I'm a French in a English speaking country. No one will do this. No one will do that." True. But what do you do? Like, do you plant the seeds? You said, like, I planted the seeds. If you are really clear about what you want, one door will might be closed, but try and see if there are others and try and start. And I love also that you said, and again, like, listen, I hope you're taking notes. Give. Give more than you expect to receive. If you're going to do the things, if you're going to show yourself, if you're going to show up, start by showing up. People will notice. And it doesn't matter if you want to do and what we call an impactful kind of job where it's like an environment or you're supporting others or you're doing something for the community or you just want to be a financial advisor. It doesn't really matter what's the type of career that you're doing. Show up, give more of yourself, do the things that you know how to do. Someone will see it, will hear it, and the opportunity will be there and you will be able to see it.
Yeah, totally. But we need to always remember this is not an one day thing. So you put the energy into the world, the same energies that you want to give, that you want to receive. You treat other people like you want to be treated, and this becomes the language the world speaks to you, and other people speak to you. Other people might still speak to you in a different way, and you have to be clear enough in order to say it doesn't work for me, and answer them back in your positive way, and or choose not to be there. And in the everyday life, summoned a lot of frustration as well. So a lot of disappointments of things that didn't work out, and it's also a very big part of the everyday life in order to um, receive the failures, a lot of them, and say, okay, there's one, there is another, and this is what I want, and be very clear of what you want, the qualities of what you want, and it will come.
Yes, I think you touched upon two things that are really important. One, it's patience. Those things doesn't happen overnight, not even in a week. You need to put in the energy, you need to be in the right headspace, and you need to give it a time that it needs. And also know that the fact that you are manifesting it, or you put all your energy and you do all the good things and you do everything perfect, maybe doesn't mean there's not going to be frustration, doesn't mean everything will work out exactly, because there are things that will not work out. But if you keep on being in the right headspace, being patient, doing what you know best, and showing yourself out there, then it will come up. It might take a little longer, but it will come up. And if you are in the right headspace, you will you will deal better with the frustration and the stress and the no's that are going to come your way.
So you have to be supported. You have to build your space, especially when you're supporting what's happening in the house. You have to build a space that is there for you all the time, because the frustrations are dailies. Dailies. I just had a root canal, so I had a nightmare of a week. A nightmare. I did not know. I cried like 3 times a day out of pain. And I did not know. I didn't had no patience to hear anybody. And it was a nightmare. A week and a half now. I said to my husband, this is your time. I cannot, I don't have one tiny drop of place for anybody else frustration. I have no capacity. I'm full. And I told him that, and I backed off, and I did a lot of. I rested at noon, all sorts of things that I never do. And now I can say that my tooth is okay. I don't have pain, but this is the first day for a week, and I'm also very glad that I have dental insurance.
That's very
That's important.
that's important. Um, Yarden, what advice would you give to someone who is maybe hesitant of living their career, their what all they've done until now, and actually move abroad and do this crazy leap of faith?
So it is a crazy leap of faith, because you don't know, whatever you fantasize, it's not the right reality. But first of all, you need to know if you want to. This is not an obvious this is not an obvious move. If the sum of all motivation to move, once you want to move, so you have to build, you have to take responsibility and build your life. You have to invest time in planning, in fantasizing, in forming, and be very clear about yourself. But it's not mandatory. It's not for everybody. It's hard move, and it can be beneficial, and it can be very nice experience for a while. But you don't have to do that. If you want to, you have to do it with your eyes open. So it's an active choice. It cannot be passive choice. It cannot be my husband wants to work, so I wants to move, so I have no option here. If you're moving, do it actively, with intention, with guidance.
Yeah, I love it. We're seeing so many women just following their husband because he got a job opportunity, so I have to go. No, you don't have to go. You choose to go. And if you choose to go, this is an active decision. Then make your life your responsibility and do something
Yeah.
about it. Create the life you want to live.
Yes. get help.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for, right?
Yes, because when you know exactly what you need, and some things are beyond your capacity. I get help from so many people. I have doctors, I have psychologists for all the kids. I have psychologists, also me, and I get help from every direction that was willing to give me help with guidance, with support, supporting on an everyday life. Family support is so important. The family that you left behind and the family that is with you, so important. Connecting to your cousins is very important as well, because I our grandmother died a month ago, and I felt so alone, so far away from everything that was important for me. And I just, it was so overwhelming. And I said, okay, I'm in this gorgeous, beautiful place. I'm doing what I want. I have this beautiful opportunity for my kids, but I'm so alone. How can I be so alone? Like, after everything, I'm so alone. Yes, so I was alone. I reached out, felt better, and I'm so happy that I have these people to reach out to. It's make my life stronger. So ask for help.
It doesn't make you weaker, it only makes you stronger, you know. We say it, I think, at the last month, every episode, just mentioning that it is okay to ask for help. So many women are afraid to ask for help because it means they're not strong enough. I used to be the strong woman, so I can't ask for help. Bullshit. It makes you only stronger because you can't do anything on your own. You don't know anything, and you need this support from others, and that's okay.
Yeah, to be very clear of what kind of help you need. This is strong. This is this implies that you're strong, that you're clear. Like, I'm capable of doing this, but I'm not capable of doing that. That is incredible.
That's amazing. You're human. We're not supposed to be able to do everything and like everyone and for everyone and the job of 15 people at the same time. So yeah, that's an amazing advice, and I'm sure our listeners gonna really really enjoy that.
Yes, and this brings us to our last question of this interview. And this is the question we ask to all our podcast episode here. So, what does a smooth and positive move abroad means to you?
One, definitions, defining the time in order to let you fantasize and re-fantasize your life in the current situation, in the current place. Two, building the supportive surrounding. What you need in order to be able to handle with all the frustration that everyday things will bring. Internet, like so. So, so what do you need to do? Do you need to yoga every day? Very recommended. Do you need to do sports every day? Do you need to walk in the park every day for an hour? Do you need to walk the dog every day for an hour? What everyday anchors you put in your day in order to sustain your life? Very important. And give yourself time. Be forgiving to the frustrations that you feel, and you will. I did. Forgiving on the Spanish mistakes, the endless amount of Spanish mistakes that I do when I practice my Spanish, when I'm trying to use it in the street. And it's a lot of frustration, but it's okay. And enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. If you don't find it enjoyment, it's not worthwhile. So whatever you need to do, you need to get away every month for a weekend. You need to save up for like a bigger vacation every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, but you need to enjoy it. What makes you enjoy it? You need to put it as an anchor in your life.
I love it. It's so, it's so related to everything we mention here on Smoothie, and you can tell we're in the same family here,
Yes.
thinking the same things. And I want to thank you so much for this episode because it was so inspiring and so honest and authentic and so valuable.
Thank you so much, and I really like the what you offer to the world, this positiveness and happiness, and it's not, it's light, but it's not shallow.
Thank you for saying that.
It's very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Yarden, for being here with us today, and thank you for joining us on the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights, tips, and inspiration for your journey as an expat.
If you have any questions, comment, or suggestion for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us via our website or social media. And if you love what you heard today, please like, follow, and leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. And until next time, sending positive vibes your way.